Welcome back to the Bakersfield Motorsports Power Hour. I'm Mike Griffith, Bakersfield, California motorsports writer. Got Scott Schweitzer from Bakersfield Speedway in here, which means it's the Bakersfield Speedway segment.
It's time to talk about the dirt.
Time to talk about the dirt, which there's quite a bit of it out there. A third mile of dirt.
Yeah, we got a lot.
A lot of dirt.
A lot of clay out there.
You get to move it around a lot. You're
hopefully
very familiar with the clay.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't move around a lot, but we end up moving a little bit during the week.
You got to move it a little bit during the week. You got to get it back off the walls, and do you get it out of the pits?
We only do that like 2 times a year. We go
through
scrape the
there.
pits. Yeah, usually in the off season when it's rained. After it's rained, it's real easy to grab the clay. So we do it then. During the season, not so much.
The racers take home a bit of it too, don't they?
Yeah, my kids both race, so we got a large quantity of it in the driveway. I mean, it happens. You know, they get home and wash the cars off, and then there it is. So
there you go. So you had a big weekend of racing out there, a lot of fast-paced racing out there. We've got a video, Chris. You want to show this video? Yep. This is battling for the lead here. And there you have it, folks. The finish of a wild hobby stock race. That race started with a spin on the first lap, ended with that was Tate Loftus in the white car, who had got passed on the penultimate lap, the next to last lap by Trevor Baker, and then came back. And the call was pretty quick from the officials, which I assume is among you. Well, others said that Tate Loftus was DQ'd for rough driving, and Trevor Baker got the win. That video is up on our Facebook page. Garnered a lot of comments, a lot of shares, and for my look, pretty 50-50 on whether you were, good call, bad call.
Well, obviously you're going to have that. We're going to have good call, bad call. But in my point of view, if you're going to pass the leader for a win of the race, you shouldn't have to touch him. I think the 10 car clearly passed the 62 clean in the lap before, never touched him. If the 62 would have passed the 10 without touching him on the final lap, 62 would have got the win.
And if you look at that, could well have. If Tate had just held his line down there in 4, he was going to come out because you could see Trevor, and he even said so that he thought he'd lost the race. Yeah,
it's come. We've had quite a few close finishes in that matter, and just. You got to do it clean, unfortunately. And then, we have to make that call right as we see it, and the turn 4 official.
You don't have the benefit of replay.
Yeah, we've had this conversation because we had a couple of situations go on at the racetrack having to do with calls, and that's one of the things that I have to explain to these drivers. We have to make that call right then and there. We're human. We're not perfect. We don't have the luxury of going to a commercial break and rewinding the video, or we don't have 16 officials around the track that are able to see it like in NASCAR. So my guys do a great job. I stand behind them 100% and the calls that they made. And then, like I said, in this call with that hobby stock race there, I mean, we knew there was going to be, not while we're making the call, it's the last thing on our mind, but I knew afterwards that it was going to be this way. There was going to be some people that did disagreed and people that agreed with it.
Yeah, so there you have it. You made the call, and that's the way it is. And I kind of agree. If there was no need for the contact there.
Yeah, I'm not saying I don't know if his car, if it was I'm not saying it was intentional. I don't know what happened, if it had a push or whatever it was, hard racing and the car just got high. It's just the fact of the matter that you got to be able to pass him clean, and especially on the last lap going for the win like that. There's just we've got to put our foot down and let these guys know. I mean, it's getting bad anyway. I mean, people are racing hard the first lap. I mean, we race for 25 laps. We pay for the 25th lap, not the first lap. So it's a shame to see these guys that are working hard and putting all this money in cars and tearing them up on the first 5 laps.
I mean, you had a couple of cars tore up in the first lap, and then you had Carl Nolan, who won the last couple. Was it Carl?
The 55, yeah.
55, yeah. Went hard into the wall.
Yeah.
And it looked like something broke right at the end of the front straight because he did
Right,
not turn at all.
And that could have been.
He was all by himself, and that car, he had just started to slow. He was running second. I noticed him slowing on the track, and that car did not turn left at the end of the front straight.
And that could have been a victim of contact earlier in the race. Could have broke something in the front end or had it, fractured, and then in some hard racing it eventually gave up. So we just got to clean it up, and the guys do a great job. I mean, the racers, they do a fantastic job. There's just sometimes some of them guys want to win it on the first lap, and I wish they wouldn't.
There you go. So we've got some pictures from this, and Roger Holder out on top of the Sport Mod race. He led a lot of laps.
And I got to give a shout out to Roger. He was actually in Las Vegas drag racing, had his car over there, and then had a something with his motor, lost a motor mouth. I don't know what happened, and they literally jumped in the car and showed up at Bakersfield Speedway the afternoon to race the dirt cars. So, I mean, that's Roger's a sponsor of the track and a great racer, and that just shows the dedication and the support that I get from these guys.
Yeah, Roger lives and works to race. Make
Absolutely.
no mistake about that.
Absolutely.
A variety of stuff. So, and some good action out there in the IMCA modified race. Eventual winner coming up, and we got Ethan Dotson right there. Third win of the season for Ethan, and he's going back east for a little bit, is he not?
I was actually talking to his dad, Wayne. I don't think he's going to make the long haul like he did before. He'll definitely go back to Boone and spend that week back there. But we just knew as a matter of time with Ethan getting in the seat for Chris Severson. That's a great combination. They were going to be wouldn't take them long to get that car figured out, and they have. And now Ethan's starting to stack up the wins.
Yeah, Roger led a long time. Said Ethan came on strong. Said one mistake and he was by me. So Roger Holder finishes second, and Roger just got his first pavement win a couple weeks ago. So pavement, oval track pavement, drag racing, dirt track, and this guy does it all. So good for Roger. Robbie Sawyer came in third. Scott Pounds fourth. Little controversy after the race where Scott thought the pass was not so clean there, and there were 4 or 5 cars battling for those top 5 spots. Had 5 cars in them, and Danny Lauer came home fifth. So
it was a good battle up front. Definitely was, and tough, good, clean, hard, tough racing there.
Hard racing, and then we go to the next set of slides here, where you had the aforementioned hobby stocks out there running, and Tom Mox got these cars were still around earlier in the night, both running. This is from the first lap incident, that last slide where it tore up the fenders on Johnny Wood's car, and then Trevor Baker with the win, and he's pretty happy about it. We've talked about that because, well, he got the win.
Yes.
Tate Loftus got the last place and no points, right? Or the last place.
No, he gets points. Yeah, he just was black flagged to the back of the field for rough driving.
There you go. And then Chris Settlemeyer comes home second. He had some problems early in the race. Didn't look like he was running too well, and got a solid second place finish out of that.
We got word that he had a transmission issue, but I mean, for saying the car wouldn't shift, but for it not shifting, it ran pretty darn good.
Pretty good. And
he ended up and salvaged a great finish.
A solid run for Marcus Wancombe out of Wasco there. Johnny Wood, first lap incident there.
Was
both
able to
fenders
come
flapping,
back,
is able to come back and finish fourth, and Rick Childers Sr. finished fifth there in the hobby stock. So good run there. You gotta love that shot.
Yeah, I mean that kind of pretty much shows you how those pro stocks work in the corner. It's kind of crazy pulling the left front up there, but the suspension's really doing its job.
Yeah, left front's up, and you can see the left rear, just how much travel there is up there, allows it to go up too and get all that power on that right rear as they go through a corner there. So good shot by Tom Mock there. Yeah, the pro stocks here for about their third race of the season, and the 38 car, Doug Thornton. First ever win at Bakersfield Speedway. I did not know that. He's been racing there for a long time, and he was just elated.
Yeah, it's really good to see when people get their first win. I think the last pro stock race, Justin Crockett got his first win at Bakersfield Speedway. So it's pretty cool, yeah, and he was very ecstatic and put on a great race. He was fast. There's no doubt about it. He was definitely the car to beat.
Yeah, so there you go, Justin Crockett. Chris Smith, Billy Simpkins comes home with fifth, and David King fourth, and David King Jr. was fifth there in the pro stocks. He had American stocks out there as well. 3 wide here in the American stocks. 24 car. He's been in the pictures a lot. And oh my gosh,
Victory there he is.
So and this is a good run because Good run for Tyler Johnson, who had to fend off nephews.
Yeah, he had a
during the
swarm
early
of
part
Johnsons behind him. So yeah,
and you have to race family fairly clean, or else there's going to be problems around the shop and
shop Christmas time, Christmas
dinner,
you'll get a bad
whatever.
Christmas gift, or
Yeah.
Thanksgiving will be tough. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of Johnsons in the American stocks, and they're all tough racers. They race hard. So, but Tyler's on a roll. He's got some great equipment this year, and he's destined to get the points championship. So it's going to be a good year.
Good run for him. Brandon Ratcliffe, strong run in the 3 car there to finish second. Dakota Brown finishes third. Miranda Scott, who won earlier this year, first race of the season, finished fourth. Casey Johnson fifth, and Nicholas Johnson, who ran up front a little while in this race and won the last one. I think he was sixth in that race. So the Johnson family is there. You had the NMRA 3/4 midgets at the racetrack. As usual, quick race for these guys. They don't have a lot of cautions and stuff. They get around the track pretty good, and a familiar name in Victory Circle.
I think they're going to have to take Chuck there and start him like 2 laps down or something. I mean, he's fast. That 38 car gets around that track.
He's fast, but I think Chris Thomas had the car to beat, and then there was a caution. And a bunch of field, and all of a sudden Thomas had a pretty good cushion. Caution came out, and a lap later, Chuck West is in the lead, and race is over. So there you go.
Caution's killed him.
West Evans finishes third, Kevin Cale fourth, and Scott Neven fifth in the midgets there. Now we get to what's coming up. You run this weekend. A lot of tracks don't.
Yeah, Memorial Day weekend. And we've got a pretty special event. It's going to be our first ever Faith and Family Night. We've partnered with 88.3 Life FM. So the afternoon Joyride DJs, Matt and Aaron, are coming out, and they're going to do some go-kart racing, some RC racing. They've got a connection with some mini dwarfs, and they got a Life FM mini dwarf out there racing this weekend. So it's going to be a fun time. Like I said, the first time ever we've partnered and had a Faith and Family Night. So we're really looking forward to Saturday night.
You got the Sport Mods, Mini Stocks, Mod Lights, Mini Dwarfs, and the SoCal Enduro to end up the night. Is that kind of the figure 8 type racing, or?
Well, the SoCal Enduro, we did them I think 2 times last year, and they basically they run down the front straightaway, go around turns 1 and 2, and then they make a hard left and cut into the infield and go back out on the track and go around, and they run 25 laps in one direction, and then they stop, and then we go 25 in the opposite. So it's a great bunch of guys. It's basically the mini stocks. So any of our mini stock racers that race Saturday night that want to race, they don't race any heat races. They just check in, they pill draw, and then they run their 50-lap main event at the end of the night, and I think it pays $500 to win now. They've got some great sponsors on board, so it's a fun night for them.
And then June 3rd, late models, Sport Mods, Hobby Stocks, American Stocks, and the late models will be running a 2-day weekend that weekend. So it'd be interesting to see if you get a few more cars maybe.
Yeah, the division's struggling. You know, it's hard to pull a full field of late models, so it'll be interesting to see how they do it, if some more northern cars will show up, because they got a chance to race too. They actually, they're racing 2-day show in Santa Maria this weekend, right. So in 7 days they can run four races in 7 days.
See what's left. So
we'll see. Yeah, like I said, it's tough right now. It's a division that's struggling. So we'll see how many. It'll be interesting to see how much show up in Santa Maria.
Yeah,
and then next weekend how many we get in Bakersfield.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you coming in for a couple of segments. A lot of fun. And we'll see you back next week and talk about what happened out at Bakersfield Speedway.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.